Well, it said we are not human beings with the spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings with human experience. We all aspire, to have peace of mind, because when you look at the world, it's futility, and we see often the world looks like a bizarre, and we get baffled and we get bogged down. So we all have this higher quest. It varies from person to person, individual to individual, at what age or what situation it clicks to them the importance of having the peace of mind. Often when it comes to struggling beings, the suffering beings, I call it that we are not immune to suffering. Everyone goes to suffering. We may be immune to certain diseases or disorders when it comes to your biochemical changes. When it comes to suffering, again, it's a part and parcel of your biochemical changes. But we are not immune to suffer. Is basically human. And the Buddha also says that the world is a sorrow, and suffering is bound to be there. But then he says there is a way to overcome the suffering. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. That's what we all look at. That's what we all strive at. Even when you look at the great personalities, be it from any realm of life, any walk of life, we all been aspiring for this higher quest, ultimately to live life, not just in great prosperity, but also in peace. That's what we're looking at. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, when we think of very seriously when it comes to peace of mind, definitely we get fascinated by the life of the monks, right? Be the monk could be from different you can call it, could be the Buddhist monks, or maybe Hindu monks, or maybe any other monk in the world. We have been always fascinated, we have been always pulled by the life of monk, because we see that the monks are the people who have been living life at its minimalistic way, and somehow they are able to overcome the sufferings of life, and they are least bothered what happens in the world in a positive sense, that they don't get carried away by at least by the emotional traumas. It gives me immense pleasure to mention that this is the book 99th book in our book reading series, and my heart goes out to all of you for giving me this incredible support on this very insightful, informative, and maybe incessant journey, because this is not 100 good books could be one of the milestones, but it will go on till my last breath. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Think Like a Monk, or monk, whatever you call it pronounced, by Jay Shetty. And Jay Shetty, I'm a big fan now of Jay Shetty, because Jay Shetty lived life of a monk for I think 3 years. He was associated with ISKCON, and let me tell you who is Jay Shetty, those who are not aware. Jay Shetty is a British podcaster, and according to Forbes, his podcast channel on purpose was ranked number one health podcast in the world, and it was, I think, rolled out in 2019. But Jay Shetty, aside an author of Think Like a Monk, definitely he is a very interactive and very insightful podcaster. Of course, having Indian origin, you can make out from his name, but based out of London. He was born and brought up over there in London. And there are many people who will theorize, will talk about the life of a monk, how to live like a monk. Jay Shetty is talking about not to become a monk, but think like a monk. You need not to escape, run away from your day-to-day responsibilities. You may be an employee, or maybe an entrepreneur, could be business entrepreneur, or maybe social entrepreneur. You may be having a very happy, or maybe a turbulent married life, whatever life in society. But he is saying no way to go to some remote areas, to the mountains, to the woods, and become a monk. No, what he's saying is, think like a monk, because this also I learned from one of my bosses by then. He used to say, think like a CEO and work like a frontliner. Think like a saint and work like a soldier. That's what the marriage of body, heart, and soul. Yeah, the physical fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness, emotional fitness, whatever you call it. Jay Shetty is a business management professional who used to work with Accenture. I think he was working on digital strategy, and he used to also coach his executives on social media strategies. And once he came across Gauranga Das, and he was quite influenced by Gauranga Das on selflessness, and then he decided that he would like to taste the flavor of what is this peace of mind, what is selflessness, what is beyond this so-called intellectual world or professional world, how to be more effective and great rather. So then he lived a life of a monk in India, definitely, and he's back to his work as an entrepreneur, and he's also a chief purpose officer with the health product company called Calm. And one more thing fascinating about Jay is he's having a wife. They both look like, at least when the color of the eyes is there, and they both are spiritually inclined and intertwined with each other. Amazing chemistry among them. Radhi, that's the name of his wife, and when it comes to his podcast, I think she was the first guest on his podcast. Amazing. So thank you, Jay Shetty, for being over there, and your book is definitely a guiding light for many people, many aspirants who are aspiring a holistic evolution, right? So what's there in this book? What's there in the book? There will be a lot of books, plethora of books when it comes to spiritual intelligence, or maybe higher quest, or consciousness, or maybe supreme energy. This book definitely it comes from an experienced person who lived a life of a monk. Secondly, when you watch him on YouTube channel, when you listen to his insight, you will definitely feel that yes, he is not a mumbo jumbo kind of a person, but the kind of insights he's sharing in most understandable way, which we can relate with when it comes to our business lingo or maybe professional world. Even the Gen Zs will be able to relate with Jay Shetty very well. And the book is divided basically into three sections. The first one is let go, the second one is grow, and the third one is give. Let go, grow, and give. So we will see that what he means by let go. In let go, Jay is talking about identity. I'm what I think I am, negativity, fear, intention. And at the end of every chapter, there is something called meditation. He's talking about breath, sometimes he's talking about chanting, something he's talking about something else. So identity, first of all, Jay is saying who we are. That's a $1 million question. Who am I? When it comes to me as a body, it's a heap of whatever we eat, and psychologically we are a heap of just memory. I keep reiterating, and Jay is saying the same thing. It's all about recording the memories and the biochemical changes and the identification or the conditioning. That's what. Sometimes we feel, it's very evident today when we have the memory transplant. My memory goes to some another memory and the person then wakes up. I would say, how come, I'm in a different body? That's what our identity is, at least when it comes to psychological and physical, whatever we eat, isn't it? The environment and all those things, the five elements. So he says when we understand, who I am actually, then many things fall apart. Many things fall apart like the dead skin of a snake. The whole crux is basically when you identify that who you are, when you realize, then things become very clear. Jay is talking about what is purpose, and he's giving an example of a scorpion. He's talking about dharma, swadharma, basically nature, purpose, your calling. So he's saying, for example, scorpion, his nature is basically to spread poison. But as we all understand this story is very famous that one of the monks is holding the scorpion despite trying to save the scorpion when the scorpion is in great danger. When someone asks why you're doing that, he says to spread poison or maybe sting is nature of scorpion. But me as a human being, I realize that my nature, my dharma is basically to protect animal who is in danger, and compassion, selfless love is my nature. So he says, we need to identify what are your nature, what's your dharma, and what is your varna. And then I'll make it very clear. He's given a very, very good formula. And he's saying passion, expertise, usefulness, that forms dharma. So passion, now because we get a lot of confusion. We get confused. What's our passion? I have a different perspective that because I come from Generation X and we were not having many choices to make, even when it comes to career, or maybe before to my generation, people getting married, they are not even seen a photograph of their spouse, their would-be husband or would-be wife. and then they could be able to see only during marriage, at marriage. And they spend their time, it can be well debated that many times people drag the deadline, but I would say the point which I'm trying to put forth is basically, passion, how passion develops. When you spend quality time with a lot of honesty, loyalty, a lot of commitment consistently, that becomes your passion, right? That becomes your passion. Jay is also giving an example from this book of, Andre Agassi, one of my very favorite lawn tennis players. Agassi, I was fascinated by his long hair. What a handsome dude. What a great man. Got married to Steffi Graf, one of my favorites. So Andre Agassi was not actually passionate about playing tennis. It was from his father. His father wanted that he should play tennis. But then later on, whatever he used to, but he had this quality, whatever you do, jo bhi karo, dil se karo, passionately. So he used to play that, and success when it comes to tennis. And then later on, instead of serving the aces, he was serving people through his NGOs with some education initiative. So that's but that doesn't mean that you should not figure out or identify your passion, what interests you. Because many times we also seen people, they undertake something and they get confused and they don't know what to pursue. Even when it comes to career, they become like a jumping jack. So you have to spend quality time, identify what will go a long way, and even when it comes to question of your life and death, that becomes the inseparable, integral part of your life. That's basically the passion. I also give an example from Pandavas. Not everyone was interested into archery like Arjun. Someone was interested into different weapon, Bhim or maybe Nakul or Sahadev or maybe Yudhishthira. But their purpose, when it comes to their common denominator, the purpose was to win over a dharma through their different passion, their different interests. So the expertise basically, or the usefulness. So usefulness, whatever the passion you have. For example, when it comes to fitness, that's my passion. But when I saw post-surgery that the usefulness is, whenever I post on social media, people in 40s and 50s, they have requested me, please continue posting that. Because they feel inspired, and they get into workout, and they also become conscious when it comes to their fitness or their healthy lifestyle. So that is the usefulness. It is not about just quantum or how many people you're reaching out. There is a difference between ego and maybe non-ego or positive ego. That the egoistic person always seeks attention, but maybe if I can call minimal ego or positive ego, that he looks at what benefit or how people can make the best out of it without expecting that people should acknowledge or appreciate his work. Could be offline or online. The usefulness, it could be any field, not just the physical fitness, it could be anything. Could be financial advices, could be entrepreneur skills, could be anything, which people find it useful. So that becomes your dharma. So when you know that what you are supreme energy, and what are the properties of that energy, and when you align your life, your purpose with the purpose of the nature, purpose of the existence, purpose of the divine, then there is no leakage of energy, and you are coherent, you are congruent with the purpose, with the higher purpose. Then it goes on and it goes on. You live the purpose, and miraculously things happen. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much again for this 99th book, and the entire series is dedicated to all those 50 ladies who gave me introduction for the early 50 books, and especially to my wife, my better half, because I see her as far a spiritually intelligent person than me. I don't think I'd be able like that. I don't know. I just keep my fingers crossed. But I see that she's a great monk, and great degree of patience, compassion, caring. And she takes care of me like a baby. And I see that she is a person maybe from past life that God has sent to take care of me, to show me what potentiality I have, and she's been always there during my tough time and my good times. So even this initiative, this noble mission of book reading series was asked by my wife during soon after my open heart surgery. Is why don't you just engage your energies into this aside to fitness, and definitely you are having your own training programs. So this could be a mission, because the basic purpose is basically not just enriching, enabling people for enriching vocabulary, but having innovative ideas, exchange of great insights, and evolve. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jay. Thank you very much, all of you. And let's co-explore and co-evolve with Jay Shetty. You may like to listen to him on YouTube, on his podcast channel On Purpose, and you'll get a lot of clarity what he's talking about. Let go, what he's talking about, grow, and what he's talking about, give. He is highly sensitive. Many times we will see this. The sky is getting cuddled with the sky gets cuddled with the clouds of confusions, and that's okay. But once you know that you are that energy, and when we know that purpose, why you are here on planet Earth, then you'll be filled with great beauty, bliss, and you'll feel blessed and blessed. So thank you very much.